Hello, forgotten Manuelians? I don't know. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, because today we're going to do something super exciting. We're going to dig into some of the new features of 8.12 or the Aria Operations Cloud instance. It's the same because you're always going to be running on that latest instance. And that feature that we're going to be taking a look at today is Multi-Cloud Overview and the Launchpad. These are some very new and very cool things that exist in the landscape of Aria Operations. So we're going to dig a little bit into this. And as you can clearly see, we are right here on the Multi-Cloud Overview page. What I like about it is it looks kind of cool. I know that there's going to be more advancements and evolutions that go into it as time goes on, but as it is available today in its current form as Multi-Cloud Overview, it's going to show you it's going to show you information about what do we want to say, the accounts, the integrations that you have enabled. So in this particular case, I've got 26 clouds I'm looking at, right? 13 vCenters, 3 AWS, 3 Azure, 2 GCP, 1 VMC and AWS, 1 VCF, 1 AVS, 1 OCVS, 1 GCVE, right? And if I had some other things, I also would have those appear in there. But it's letting me look at this kind of at a high level holistic glance as I kind of dig through stuff, right? Can I get rid of this box here? You can't see that box. Maybe you can or can't. It doesn't matter. But I'm able to see some really cool stuff like, hey, here's what 25 of my clusters are good. 10, maybe not so much. Do I get anything on that second page there? Yeah, and then on unknown state for 9 of them. That makes sense for a testing type environment. It shouldn't make sense if this were prod. And the reason I say it shouldn't make sense if it were prod is you don't want anything unknown in prod. You probably don't want anything critical in prod. But for me to be able to show stuff, yeah, I need dumpster fires that I can showcase. So I've got all these kind of things, and it gives me a little breakdown. Hey, here's all my public cloudy stuff, right? I've got a bunch of accounts tied to a bunch of different things, and it's really nice. And as we know, instead of vRealize Operations, or Aria Operations, we have the ability to see all this stuff and go deeper and granular, but this gives me this kind of high-level view to simply say, hey, I've got like 10,000 critical alerts, which I would normally want to do something about, A really nice other piece of this is we've got some sustainability stuff that lives in here, and it ties off into the sustainability dashboards, which we're not going to go into today. Let me know what you think about that. And that's a very weird stat about smartphones charge. But that said, this is a really nice kind of cool way of what you can do today and where some of the future of some of these things is going. So that said, now let's dig into the Launchpad. You may have seen the Launchpad, for anyone who's running 8.12, or you may have seen a similar type of thing when it existed in 8.6 or in the previous 8.0 versions. All the various iterations over the past 3 years, right? So while a lot of times people like to focus on, hey, here are my pillars of operations, here are the things at the top, I want to take it back a little bit. Go all the way down to the bottom to show you from the bottom up. And why I like to go from the bottom up is there's a lot of really cool things here that people never scroll all the way down for. Like, hey, from an infrastructure standpoint, I can use VROps to look at my vSphere, my vSAN, my NSX, my Horizon, my Kubernetes. It's like right there, front and center. I could have a look at my public cloud stuff, my AWS, my Azure, my GCP. It's like done. It's right there. Same kind of thing for the VMware clouds, right? VCF, VMC and AWS, AVS, GCVE, OCVS, VMware Cloud on Dell EMC for anyone who still has any VMware Cloud on Dell EMC inside of their environment. So that just speaks to a little bit of the integrations, speaks to a little bit about applications and application configuration where you can have VROPs look at applications and services. But, said, like before, I want to focus on the bottom here. This little link here will take me right over to Automation Central. Awesome, right? If I go and I click that, it's immediately going to take me right over to Automation Central. But I'm going to go back. That's not what I wanted to do right now. I've got this one here for outbound plugins. It's like, hey, if I want to go set up my integrations into ServiceNow or Slack or a webhook or something like that, I click that, it takes me right there. But that's not what I wanted to look at. I could go click the content repository, right? And it'll take me right over into my integrations repository. So that way I can go and establish any new management packs, go and configure any of these items. Wow, this If you've ever seen any of my like slides or things I have, this used to say 109, now it says 111. But again, that's not even the whole thing. And what I do, like, we've got this developer center. So if I am doing any API stuff, or if I want to get to the sample exchange, or if I want to go into the community exchange, it's right there, front and center. So if I forget where to find these things, it's there. It's documented. It's in the code, quote unquote code. So those are 4 little pieces that a lot of people overlook that I want to raise your attention to, because that could be something very fun for you to go and do. And then all the other stuff here, but now we're going to walk through the pillars of operations and some really cool things in there. I actually had the pleasure of meeting with the PMs responsible for the Launchpad, what was it, last week or so, to provide what I liked and what I did not like to make this evolve better. And I hope that you and I will better from that experience and that conversation, because the types of things that they are doing and that we are doing is really amazing and awesome. So that's some really awesome stuff there. So we're going to jump right here into the first pillar of observability. And I'll kind of talk through what we would do. So we've got very easily, in the event that you're like, I want to go find these things, but this sidebar here is a bunch of stuff and I'm not sure exactly what I want to do. That's where these pillars come in handy. Hey, I want to go look at alerts. Boom. There are my alerts. Hey, take me to dashboards. In the event that I didn't realize, oh, I got to go visualize dashboards to get to the dashboards, you can do that front and center. Same kind of thing with reports. Same kind of thing with the troubleshooting workbench called observability workbench inside here. Same kind of thing with log analysis, and diagnostics for Skyline, right? I will say, not only do you want to read the main bullet points, right? Alerts, dashboards, diagnostics, but you also want to read the subtext. Retrieve findings from Skyline. That's a really nice piece around this, so that way not only what it's supposed to be talking about, but also what it's really supposed to be talking about. I mean, you can read it, you can hover, and you're going to get some really cool stuff out of that. Because I find a lot of people don't necessarily read beyond the big word, and they're like, this is not what I wanted at all. And I am one of those people. I'm like, why is this thing showing me Skyline diagnostics and alerts? It's like, oh, if I read it, it said receives Skyline data. So anyway, that's some really cool stuff we have directly inside of monitoring troubleshooting. As I scroll down a little bit, I've got APM integration. So if I am using Datadog, New Relic, Dynatrace, App Dynamics, whatever, I've got that stuff. But especially, and really exciting, is we've got these things here for application monitoring. So where I can go and check out some of our agent list monitoring or agent-based monitoring or our synthetic monitoring. And I want to highlight this one specifically. I'm going to go click Learn More as part of the highlighting. If you're running Aria Operations 8.12 on premises, you won't have this view button because synthetic monitoring is only available in SaaS. Look at that, it even says right there. It's available in SaaS. So when I walk through this in a on-premises installation, I'm like, hey, I can learn more, but I cannot view. And by clicking Learn More, I learned more to know that that is a SaaS-only type capability. I knew that, but it was just a matter of, now you know that. Now we all walk away from this as winners, right? So this is some of the high-level stuff that we're looking inside of observability. So we're going to go back. I could go click Home, but I'm going to go click Launchpad. It just takes me right back. We're going to hop into my, honestly, favorite place in the world, which is capacity. And I'll tell you, this is where the money is. Not only, the money, the magic, the power, but also the way to reduce cost, reduce spend, increase your money. I don't know. Capacity. Love capacity, the power it gives you to. Right size, reclaim, workload optimization. If you've ever watched any of my videos around, like, I don't know, right sizing and reclaiming, this is it. This is the place. And then plan. And the planning takes us into some of the various what-if analysis, but what I like about this is it gives you context. So if I were doing, like, infrastructure planning, I'm like, what would I be doing there? I go click Learn More, and strangely, I'd be learning more, as would you. So thus, if I went and I click that, it's going to take me right over into the what-if analysis, where I can go start building out some what-if analysis scenarios and so on and so forth. So that's some really nice stuff that we have. Again, front and center, right there, sitting inside of capacity. So we're going to move on. You guys can dig a little deeper into that, ask questions, drop your questions in the comments below about, things you like or don't like. Let's pop over into cost. Cost is really good, because I know where all these things are, but me knowing where they are and you being able to do the thing is a whole other matter. We've got more, what if analysis things down here. We've got things that'll take us right back to show back, charge back elements and areas, some very powerful stuff. We've got to where we can go define our rate cards, how we can go do our cost analysis, cost drivers, cost optimization. I will actually click on, because I haven't been clicking any of these, but I will click on total cost of ownership. And the reason is it's one of my favorite places to click in the regular world. So if I go click view on that, it's going to take me to our cost overview dashboard view. And this is great. I mean, it gives me a good overview of all my things. As well as, hey, show me what my VCF looks like, or show me what my AVS looks like, or something like that. And it'll give me a breakdown of those things, right? But, all that said, what I really love about this is the cost overview dashboard is my shortcut to cost-related dashboards. So I'm always a big fan of, I always highlight this. So that's what, like when I'm looking for these dashboards, because they don't all have the word cost in them. This one has the word price. This one has deprecation. This one has a base rate. So if I were going just into our dashboards and searching, I'm going to find everything that has the word cost, but I may not find the other ones. And this is a fun way to get there. By fun way, this is a way to get there. And it's a way I personally use as my shortcut to cost-related dashboards. So you do it, because I certainly will. All right, we're going to go click back a few times. All right, so that's some of the fun stuff in cost. We're going to move on a little bit into the land of compliance. If you saw my compliance video, you'll know, hey, we can do compliance stuff. And here we go, like an at-a-glance view of, oh, I have a regulatory benchmark or a VMware type benchmark. Show me more, and show me more, show me more. Anyway, we can go and click on these things, and it'll take me to the appropriate place. So, for example, if I click HIPAA, where's it going to take me to? It's going to take me right to my HIPAA compliance one, where I can go and look at information about my control sets and so on and so forth, right? There's a lot of data that we have in here, in addition to the other places where we have all of our cost stuff. So I'm going to go back to my Launchpad, because that's where I want to go. Anything special in here I wanted to look in compliance? Not necessarily. I'm going to click monitor and remediate. Maybe I'll regret this decision. But nope, I do not. This is what then takes me to the operational health of those regulatory benchmarks or other respective benchmarks I have configured. So if I didn't have HIPAA compliance enabled, then this wouldn't show up in there. But if I did, it will, right? Same kind of thing with PCI and sys and so on and so forth. So it's a fun way to go look at that on a cloud-by-cloud basis. In this case, I'm looking at all my vCenters, whereas if I went and looked at some of these other ones, I would be getting those outputs. So that's a really fun way to look at compliancy stuff, where VROps is that source of compliance, Aria Operations, blah, blah, blah. So now that we're done compliance, we're going to finish up with our last area, and then we're going to wrap this video. Like, we're going to rock and roll while you hit that like and subscribe button, because obviously you like this video and you're going to subscribe. We're over here in the land of sustainability, and the investments we've made around this have been pretty substantial. There's a lot of very cool things that go on in this particular space. I'm scrolling forever, which is to say how much cool stuff we have in there. And we've got, it can take me right over into dashboards and views around my underused storage or oversized clusters, or this is one of my favorite ones, is these small clusters and aging hardware. I'm going to click it. I hope I don't regret clicking it. Will it show me something useful? That's the question, because it depends upon what cluster I'm looking at sometimes. So I do regret partially because it's taking forever to load. But the point is, what's nice about this is I'm able to say, hey, this cluster is tiny, right? It has these things broken out because this is my green supply dashboard. But this one's showing, hey, 4 less nodes, 120 less cores, and it's got the breakout details about what the things mean and why the things mean and stuff like that. So if I go and I grab one of these arbitrary clusters that I know are like ancient, and I click next to it, that's that. Don't click the blue because that takes you to it, but click adjacent to it. It'll start to tell me information about the thing. Same kind of thing, like I grab this Kraken 13, and it's going to tell me some information about that particular, asset and what have you. BIOS version, so on and so forth, right? Same kind of thing, aging storage hardware. I probably have some really ancient storage hardware that exists out here. And it lets you get a good visibility into what is the bad inside my environment? What is old? What is running these ancient VMFS versions or something like that? I don't remember if that's ancient. But I know 6.5, 6.5 is ancient enough. You know, same with 6.7. So taking us back to the home here inside of our Launchpad, that's some of the, we didn't even click on everything. We clicked on very few things, to be honest. But that's a way for you can dig into certain pieces, certain elements, certain, we'll call them maybe pillars, of being able to dig into stuff. And not knowing that all of your answers aren't going to come from above. Sometimes they may come from below. So there's some amazing ways you can take advantage of and looking at certain things, a different way to represent it, rather than trying to figure out like, oh, where do I go find my dashboards? Is it here or is it there? This makes some of that a little easier on you, and it makes it a little more consumable. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and all that jazz. Comment below. Let me know what you think. If you find things you don't like, I may equally share similar experiences on certain parts. But there's a lot of parts in here that I really love, and its ability to make my life easier managing these environments and platforms. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And I think I'm just going to end the video here. Let me go find that stop button. I'll catch you guys on the next one.